Mataji, I beg forgiveness. Actually, I'm little unwell. I guess Ganga Shakti Mataji is doing coordination and by mistake I end meeting for all. I'm so sorry.
No
Uh,
problem. It's okay. We were in a break, so it's okay. Krishna took care of it. Yeah. So maybe we can continue our discussion. So anyone else wants to add any points? So how do we reconcile Krishna's words in Bhagavad Gita 4th chapter and here the sages are talking about the protection of the seminal um, of the dynasty here? Has everyone joined, first of all?
Mataji, I've sent message in the group.
I
I think they
believe.
previously it was 9 devotees.
Oh,
3 might join.
so we should wait?
No, Mataji, they would join.
They will join. Okay, so
Yeah, if they were here, they would join.
okay, okay. Thank you, Rukmini. So it's not either this way or either that way, but it could be it is reconciling both the things together. You see in the Bhagavatam 3:31:1, when Kapila Dev was talking about, the movement of the living entity, the Kapil Dev himself, he says that, Karmana Daivanetrena Jantur Dehopatyate Striya Pravishta Udharam Pumso Reta Kanashraya. The personality of God had said, under the supervision of the Supreme Lord and according to the result of his work, the living entity, the soul, is made into and enter into the womb of a woman through the particle of male semen to assume a particular type of body. So here we understand that, whatever the arrangement, the material arrangement is made, it's not by chance. It's actually by a design of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, yes, the qualities, people have to be designated to their Varna ashram according to the qualities they exhibit. But again, Garbhadan Samskar is also very much needed because, as Ganga Shakti Mataji said and as Rukmini said, it creates a platform for people, so that they attract the pious souls into this world. And it's just like Prabhupada gives an example. If someone is born in the family of doctors, all their life they've seen that the people around them are doctors and they know everything about being like what it takes to become a doctor. But again, it's the living entity's individual choice whether they have that inclination towards to become a doctor or not. However, simply by being born in the family of doctor doesn't make someone a doctor. This is also important. Children born in the families of Vaishnavas, they do have a very high chances to become Vaishnavas. But again, it's again their own free will, their own free choice that, they want to choose to be with Krishna, to become a Vaishnava or not. So here the sages are thinking that, no, these children are prone to become devotees of the Lord because they're coming from the dynasty of the Dhruva Maharaj. So we need to preserve the semen. So 43. Sorry. After making a decision, the saintly persons and sages turned the thighs of the dead body of King Vena with great force and according to a specific method. As a result of this churning, a dove-like person was born from King Vena's body. So this is a method that is used by the great sages. They churn the body, and then from the body, they appeared like dwarf like a person. Now Prabhupada writes, saying that person was born by the churning of thighs of King Vena proves that the spirit is individual and separate from the body. The great sages and saintly person could beget another person from the body of dead King Vena, but it's not possible for them to bring King Vena back to life. King Vena was gone, and certainly he has taken another body. The saintly person and sages were only concerned with the body of Vena because it is a result of seminal succession in the family of Maharaj Dhruva. Consequently, the ingredients by which another body could be produced were there in the body of King Vena. By certain process, when the thighs of a dead body were churned, another body came out. Although dead, the body of King Vena was preserved by drugs and by mantras chanted by King Vena's mother. In this way, the ingredients for production of another body were there. When the body of a person named Bahuka, the dwarf-like person, that is Bahuka, came out of the dead body of King Vena, it was really not very astonishing. It was simply a question of knowing how to do it. From the semen of one body, another body is produced. The life symptoms are visible due to the souls taking shelter of this body. One should not think that it is impossible for another body to come out of dead body of Maharaj Vena. This was performed by skillful action of the sages. So this is the Vedic science, The sages know how to churn the body and bring out another living entity out. And the dwarf-like person who came out was Bahuka. 44. This person born from Helena's thigh was named Bahuka, and his complexion was black as crows. All the limbs of his body were very short. His arms, legs were short, and his jaws were very large. His nose was flat, his eyes were reddish, and his hair copper-colored. So they're giving the physiology of Bahuka. 45. He was very submissive and meek. Immediately after his birth, he bowed down and inquired, "Sir, what shall I do?" The great sages replied, "Please sit down, Nishida." Thus Nishida, the father of Naisada race, was born. It is said in the Shastras that the head of the body represents Brahmanas, the arms, Kshatriyas, abdomen, Vaishyas, legs beginning with thighs represent Sudras. The Sudras sometimes called black or Krishna. The Brahmanas are called Sukla or white. The Kshatriyas and Vaishyas are a mixture of black and white. However, those who are extraordinarily white are said to have skin produced of white leprosy. It may be concluded white or golden hue is the color of higher caste, and the black is the complexion of Sudras. So it's a very generalized, it's very general discussion here that how, based on someone's skin tone, you can understand that what kind of gunas they're mixed with and what kind of caste they might be in. 46. After his, Nisheda's birth, he immediately took charge of all resultant actions of King Vena's sinful activities. As such, this Nisheda class was always engaged in sinful activities like stealing, plundering, hunting. Consequently, they are allowed to live in hills and forests. So Prabhupada writes, the Nishedas are not allowed to live in cities and towns because they are sinful by nature. As such, their bodies are very ugly and their occupations are also sinful. We should, however, know that even these sinful men, who are sometimes called Kiritas, can be delivered from the sinful reaction to the topmost Vaishnava platform by the mercy of the pure devotee. Can you remember this shloka from the Canto 2? The power of the holy name. It describes about different classes of people. They still take the holy name and they get purified. Canto 2. Anyone?
Kirat Hoon Puland Pulkashaya.
Yes.
Like that, Mataji. I don't remember
Yes,
that.
yes.
The shlok is that.
Yes. Yes. So any people from any classes, they take the shelter of the holy name, they engage in devotional service, they become pure. So although according to our karmic influences, we may be born in certain families, we may be very sinful or pious or whatever is the category, still Bhakti is very powerful, that is very purifying. And Prabhupada quotes from Bhagavad Gita 9:32. O son of Pritha, who take shelter of me, though they born of lower birth, women, Vaishyas as well as Sudras can approach to supreme destination. Because the holy name has all the power to remove the contaminations of our sinful actions. So that's end the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 4th canto, 14th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Story of King Vena. So what happened in this chapter? We learned what was the King Vena's King Vena was throned, and we have seen his cruel mentality, and then the sages went and advised him, and he was impudent, and the sages killed him, and then again they were thinking about the welfare of the people, and they started showing the body of King Vena. So in chapter 15, we will see King Prithu's appearance and coronation. Any questions past chapter? Anything, any doubts, any reflections that you want to share before we proceed to this chapter? Any realizations before we go to the next chapter? Anyone?
Hare Krishna.
My sincere apologies. I think my internet jumped. So any reflections? I think Antarayami Prabhu's hand was up.
Yes, Mataji. I was reflecting that if you are opposed to God, then even if you are a king, you will be finished very quickly.
Okay. Any other reflections? Thank you, Prabhu, for sharing. Any other reflections? Nothing? Nothing more? We learned nothing? Okay, so we'll continue with chapter 15, verse 1. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, thus the Brahmanas and the great sages again churned the two arms of the king Vena's dead body. As a result, a male and a female couple came out of his arms. So they continued with the churning. They first churned the thighs, and then there was a dwarf-like person appeared. His name was Bahuka. He took all the sinful actions, sinful reactions of the King Vena. But then they continued again, they churned the hands of King Vena. And then what happened? As a result, a male and a female appeared. Verse 2. The great sages were highly learned in Vedic knowledge. When they saw male and female born of the arms of King Vena's body, they were very pleased, for they could understand the couple was an expansion of plenary portion of Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the sages, by observing the male and female, the physiology, they understood that, okay, there are none but the plenary portion. Actually, the King Prithu, he's the male, and Queen Archi, she's the female. King Prithu is the Shaktavesha avatar. He's empowered, he's the empowered Jiva by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's actually Avesha, he's not Vishnu Tattva. Prabhupada writes this in the purport. After King Vena's body was thus purified, a male and a female came out of it, and the great sages could understand that this was an expansion of Lord Vishnu. This expansion, of course, was not Vishnu Tattva, but specifically empowered expansion of Lord Vishnu known as Avesha. So he's basically Shakti Avesha. He's an empowered by the Lord Vishnu. Just like our Srila Prabhupada, he's Shakti Avesha. He's empowered by Krishna to spread the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Verse 3. The great sages said, the male is a plenary portion of power of Lord Vishnu, who maintains the entire universe, and the female is the plenary expansion of Goddess of Fortune, who is never separated from the Lord. So, who is King Prithu? The male? The male is the plenary portion of the power of Lord Vishnu. That means he has the ruling power. He is empowered for ruling the entire earth, entire universe actually. And the female, the Queen Archi, is an expansion of the Goddess of Fortune, plenary expansion. And she never leaves the Lord, so she is accompanied. Now Prabhupada writes, the significance of Goddess of Fortune never being separated from the Lord is clearly mentioned here. People in material world are very fond of Goddess of Fortune, and they want her favor in form of riches. They should know, however, the Goddess of Fortune is inseparable from Lord Vishnu. Materialists should understand that the Goddess of Fortune should be worshipped along with Lord Vishnu and should not be regarded separately. Materialists seeking for the favor of Goddess of Fortune must worship Lord Vishnu and Lakshmi together to maintain material opulence. So we have to give this education to people that, only Lakshmi should not be worshipped alone. Lakshmi is always accompanied by Lord Vishnu. Otherwise, she is Chanchala Lakshmi. Lakshmi Devi comes to the materialist people, but she quickly runs away. Because where Lord Vishnu's service is not taken there, she will already leave. That's why she is also known as Chanchala Lakshmi. She never stays at one place. So unless and until if someone wants to take the favor of Lord Lakshmi, Goddess Lakshmi, they have to worship, they have to engage in the service of Lord Vishnu. Those who are very rich and have taken favor of Goddess Fortune in this world must engage their money in the service of the Lord. So we have to tell, just worshipping Lakshmi wouldn't stay, the Lakshmi Devi won't stay with you. But rather, what is the best way to make her stay at your place? By engaging the opulence gifted by her in the service of the Lord. In this way, they can continue their opulent position without disturbance. 4. The male will be able to pass his reputation on word. His name will be Prithu. Indeed, he will be the first among the kings. So who is the first king? Is Prithu Maharaj. King Prithu is the first king, and we will see in the further coming chapters how he is the first emperor, because after him he created the cities and the villages and the pasturing grounds and everything. So he actually developed the entire what do you say, the urban and rural development program in the earth. So that's why he's known as the first king. And he's an incarnation of the ruling force of the Lord. So the sages already understood, okay, these will be some of the activities of King Prithu. 5. The female has a beautiful teeth and beautiful qualities that she will actually beautify the ornaments she wears. Her name will be Archi. In future, she will accept King Prithu as her husband. So we have to understand here King Prithu and Queen Archi, they're not born as babies. They're actually born as fully developed, individuals. So as soon as they're born, they are out and the sages will coronate them, and Queen Archi will become the wife of King Prithu. 6. In the form of King Prithu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has appeared through a part of his potency to protect the people of the world. The goddess of fortune is a constant company of the Lord, and therefore she has incarnated partially as Archi to become King Prithu's queen. Prabhupada writes here, there are innumerable such personalities, but not all of them are direct Vishnu Tattva plenary portions of the Lord. Many living entities are classified among the Shakti Tattvas. Such incarnations empowered for specific purposes are known as Shaktyavesh avatars. King Prithu was such a Shaktyavesh avatar of the Lord. Similarly, Archi, the King Prithu's wife, was a Shaktyavesh avatar of the goddess of fortune. So they come with the power of certain potencies of the Supreme Lord. So they're empowered living entities. 7. The great sage Maitreya continued, my dear Viduraji, at that time all the Brahmanas highly praised and glorified King Prithu, and the best singers of Gandharva Loka chanted his glories. The inhabitants of Siddhaloka showered flowers, and beautiful women in the heavenly planets danced in ecstasy. So there is a great celebration that is happening. Everyone is welcoming of King Prithu and Queen Archi. Conch shells, bugles, drums, and kettle drums vibrated in outer space. Great sages, forefathers, and personalities from the heavenly planets all came to earth from various planetary systems. Lord Brahma, the master of entire universe, arrived there accompanied by all demigods and their chiefs. Seeing the lines of Lord Vishnu's palm on King Prithu's right hand, impressions of lotus flowers on the soles of his feet, Lord Brahma could understand that King Prithu was a partial representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One whose palm bears the sign of a disc, as well as other such lines, should be considered a partial representation or incarnation of Supreme Lord. So did Brahma just accepted the King Prithu just like that? No. He actually made an observation. This is when you study the lines on the past, this is a science called this is palm history, right? They read the lines, they see the lines on the feet. Right? Anyone knows about it? Did we ever show our hands to people? They read the lines and they predict, this is what is coming, this is your age, this is the good fortune that you carry. So Lord Brahma also, he knows what are the different signs on Lord Vishnu's hand. And he could see the same lines on King Prithu's hand, and he saw there are lotus flowers on his palms. Then he understood, okay, he's none other but empowered Jiva. So he's going to welcome. So Prabhupada says, before accepting someone as an incarnation of God, one should verify his identity according to the symptoms mentioned in the Shastras. Without these symptoms, the pretender is subject to be killed by the authorities for pretending to be an incarnation of God. So if someone is telling that I'm a God, so we have to, what should we do? We have to take these indications that's given in the Shastra to observe the palms and the soles, and also to see the physic nature of their body. You see, Mahaprabhu has big arms that reaches up to his knees, and there's this wide chest, broadened chest. There's some signs. By observation, we can understand that they're actually God or expansions of God or empowered by God. Not just because they have just, got you a golden watch out of somewhere or some vibhuti from somewhere. We don't accept someone as an incarnation of God. 11. The learned Brahmanas who are very attached to the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies then arranged for king's coronation. People from all directions collected all different paraphernalia for the ceremony, and everything was complete. So everyone is making arrangements for the coronation of King Prithu. 12. All the rivers, seas, hills, mountains, serpents, cows, birds, heavenly planets, the planet, and all the other living entity collected various presentations according to their ability to own. So the deity personified of that particular rivers or earth or the heavenly planets, and also the representative from different living entities, they all came with offering some gifts to the king. Thus the great King Prithu, exquisitely dressed with ornaments and garments, and was coronated and placed on the throne. The king and his wife, Archie, who was also exquisitely ornamented, appeared exactly like fire. 14. The great sage continued, My dear Vidura, Kuvera presented the great King Prithu with a golden throne. The demigod Varuna presented him with an umbrella that constantly sprayed fine particles of water as brilliant as the moon. So that means it's always making it cool. The umbrella is always providing the cool shades. The demigod of air, Vayu, presented King Prithu with 2 wisps, chamara of hair. The king of religion, Dharma, presented him with a garland which would expand his fame. The king of heaven, Indra, presented him with a valuable element, and the superintendent of death, Yamaraj, presented him with a spectre which wished to rule the world. 16. Lord Brahma presented King Prithu a protective garment made up of spiritual knowledge. Bharati, Saraswati, the wife of Brahma, gave him transcendental necklace. Lord Vishnu presented him with a Sudarshan chakra. And Lord Vishnu's wife, the goddess of fortune, gave him imperishable opulences. What does it mean by transcendental necklace? Why is it called transcendental necklace? Anyone? But today I'm not able to hear Jagat Mata Sachidevi. You're saying something?
Yes, Madhamaji, this means that the necklace doesn't belong to this world. It is from the other world.
It's not affected by the 3 modes of material nature. Does not fall under the sattva, rajas, or tamas. Yes, thank you. It doesn't belong to this world. Now here, Prabhupada writes, all the demigods presented various gifts to King Prithu. Hari, an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead known as Upendra, in the heavenly planet presented the king with Sudarshan disc. Sorry. It should be understood that this Sudarshan disc is not exactly the same type of Sudarshan disc used by the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna or Vishnu. Since Maharaj Prithu was a partial presentation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's power, the Sudarshan disc given to him represented the partial power of the original Sudarshan disc. So here, Upendra, the Hari who came and gave the Sudarshan chakra, is actually Vamana, Lord Vamana Dev, who is actually the brother of Indra, who lives in the heavenly planets. And he presented a Sudarshan chakra, which is has the properties of the Sudarshan chakra that the Lord carries, but not of the full potency. It has potency, but not of the full potency of what Lord Vishnu carries. 17. Lord Shiva presented him with a sword within a sheet marked with 10 moons, and his wife, the goddess Durga, presented him with a shield marked with 100 moons. The moon demigod presented him with horses made of nectar, and the demigod Vishwakarma presented him with a very beautiful chariot. What do you mean by horses made of nectar? Can anyone try? What does it mean, horses made of nectar?
Maji, is it mean that
There.
they won't get hungry, thirsty, and
The basic, yeah, they don't get fatigued very fast. Yeah, and they drank the nectar from the Swargaloka. The demigod of fire, Agni, presented him with a bow made of horns of goats and cows. The sun god presented him with arrows as brilliant as sunshine. The predominating deity of Burloka presented him with slippers full of mystic power. The demigods from outer space brought him presentations of flower again and again. This verse describes that the king's slippers were invested with mystic powers, Paduke Yoga Mayayu. Thus, as soon as the king placed his feet in the slippers, he would immediately carry him wherever he desired. So we would like to have these mystic slippers, right? We can go to Puri, we can go to Mayapur, we can go to all the festivals. Oh, it would be nice. Mystic yogis can transfer themselves from one place to another whenever they desire. A similar power was invested in the slippers of King Prithu. We don't have any such manufacturers as far as now. 19. The demigods who always travel in outer space gave King Prithu the art of perform dramas, sing songs, play musical instruments, and disappear at his will. The great sages also offered him infallible blessings. The ocean offered him a conch shell produced from ocean. 20. The seas, mountains, and rivers gave him room to drive his chariot without impediments. And the Sutta, Magadha, and Bandi offered prayers and praises. They all presented themselves before him to perform their respective duties. So you see, from verses 1 to 10 is talking about the description, the appearance of King Prithu and Queen Archie, whereas verses 11 to 20 is the coronation and the gifts given by different demigods. From 21 to 26, the last 6-7 verses talk about how the Sutta, Magadha, and Bandi, they offer different praises, and King Prithu deny. He doesn't accept any of these praises. And this is such an important lesson, because if someone praise us, we feel very happy. We are looking for praise, isn't it? Sometimes our devotional service is motivated by that. If someone doesn't acknowledge our service, if someone doesn't offer us the praise, then, sometimes we want to back off from the service itself, isn't it? But here Prithu is going to say, I don't want this praise. I don't want this kind of, I don't need this. Let me do my service. I'm not interested in your praise. We will see his mentality. 21. Thus, when the greatly powerful King Prithu, the son of Vena, saw the professionals before him to congratulate them, he smiled, and with gravity of vibrating sounds of clouds, he spoke as follows. What do you understand the gravity of vibrating sound of clouds? What does this phrase means? Gravity of vibrating sound of clouds.
Thundering of clouds.
Sorry, Prabhu? Gita Krishna Prabhu?
Thundering of clouds.
Thundering, yes, it's like a thunderbolt. It's very sharp, it's very deep, and he's whatever Prithu is going to speak, the very, very deep words. King Prithu said, O gentle Sutta, Magadha, and other devotees, offering prayers, the qualities of which you have spoken are not distinct in me. Why then you should praise me for all the qualities when I do not shelter these features? I do not wish for these words meant for me go in vain, but it is better than offered to someone else. What would be our reaction if someone praises us? Then what will be our first reaction? We'll say, thank you. Can you say more? Please, more, isn't it? But here King Prithu is exhibiting this quality, saying that, okay, you spoke, but I don't have these qualities. I haven't exhibited any of the qualities that you spoke. And why should they go vain, but rather be offered to someone else? And listening to one's own praise is like killing our own self. Why is praise bad? Is praising bad? Is it harmful? The whole material world is behind this, we want to be praised, we want to be acknowledged, it's all about it. Yes, Priya Satyabhama Mataji. Priya Satyabhama Mataji, your hand is raised.
Yes, Mataji. Mataji, I just wanted to say, often devotees try to avoid this because it can make you puffed up. Or, as it says, the praise has got into your head. That can be there.
Also, the pride comes before the fall, isn't it?
Yes, Mataji.
So, but what if a devotee is genuinely praising? How do we take the praise? How do we handle the praise?
We just the way Mataji we were discussing, we should pass it on. We should pass it to our Guru, to Srila Prabhupada, and to the Parampara. Because whatever a devotee is able to do is because of the mercy of the Guru and Krishna.
Yes.
So if we take it in that stride, that way the devotional service becomes better, and the pride doesn't come. You stay grounded, and you can get better in your devotional life as well.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Jagat Mata Sachi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, praise can be used in a good way also. It can further motivate in our devotional services, and we can get more motivated to do our service more accurately, more precisely.
Yes. Yeah, we have to learn to praise. Undoubtedly, we have to learn to praise others. But when the praise is coming to us, we should not be so much interested, isn't it? Because we can be motivated. Yes, very nice. Anything else? Why Prithu is denying the praise? Why is it not?
Mataji, because yet he has not done anything. That's why maybe he's denying.
Yeah. Does it happen to us sometimes that we didn't do anything and already devotees come and praise?
Many times.
Yeah, many times actually. We are just in the thought process and then we haven't done it yet. And then the devotees are already putting us onto the, onto the palanquin, and we are going and riding on it. And our mind really likes it. So it's a very nice lesson to learn from Prithu Maharaj's section that, it's also important that, when these character portrayals, we were every character in the Bhagavatam is teaching us. When we are put in those kind of awkward situations, we can remember Prithu's actions. We can remember Prithu's way, how he dealt with them, and we can pray to Prithu. Please protect us, praise, unnecessary, unwanted praise. Yes. We'll read Prabhupada's purport. It's very beautiful purport. The prayers and praises by Sutta, Magda, and Vandi all explain the godly qualities of Maharaj Prithu, for he was Saktyavesh, incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because the qualities were not yet manifest, however, King Prithu very humbly asked why the devotees should praise him such exalted words. He did not want anyone to offer him prayers or glorify him unless he possessed the real qualities of which they spoke. The offering of prayers was certainly appropriate, for he was an incarnation of Godhead. But he warned that one should not be accepted as an incarnation of the personality of Godhead without having the godly qualities. At the present moment, there are many so-called incarnations of the personality of Godhead. But these are merely fools and rascals whom people accept as incarnations of God, although they have no godly qualities. King Prithu desired that his real characteristics in the future might justify such words of praise. Although there was no fault in the prayers offered, Prithu Maharaj indicated that such prayers should not be offered to an unfit person who pretends to be an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what Sutta, Magda, and Vandi, they're doing, sorry, they're right. They're right because he is qualified, King Prithu was qualified to receive the praise, so they were offering the praise. So similarly, we also, when we are offering praise, we should not be hesitant if the devotee is worthy, we should always offer praise. But when it comes to our own personal, acceptance, we have to take it in a very humble way. That, we have to check whether did I do anything worthy of their praise first? And if I did anything worthy, then how should I offer this praise back to the Guru and Krishna? Right? Because we live in the society of devotees. It's an everyday times. Devotees come and offer praise all the time. Even if you make khichdi without the devotee, Mataji, it's so wonderful. Never ate khichdi like this. Devotees can come and say these things. So every time we have become vigilant, we have to learn to see that we and if we did anybody of 23. O gentle reciters, offer such prayers in due course of time when the qualities of which you have spoken actually manifest themselves in me. The gentle who offer prayers to Supreme Personality of God do not attribute such qualities to human being who does not actually have them. So this is another reminder for us. We should learn to give genuine praise, but we should not flatter people. Flattering is not helpful. Sorry for that. I think my internet is jumping. Yeah, we have to learn genuine praise, but we should not be interested in these moving around. You hear me? Can you all hear me? Okay, another message. Okay, Rukmini, thank you. Thank you, Mataji. I was looking to my actual incarnation of creative form. He reared the qualities prevalent but not yet manifested. Wanted to stress that should not try to engage his followers and devotees in offering him glory for them. Even though these qualities might be manifest in the future, if a man who does not factually possess the attributes of great personality engages his followers in praising him with expectations that such attributes will develop in the future, that sort of praise is actually an insult. So someone doesn't have that quality, but accepting that praise is nothing but it's actually an insult. Or how could an intelligent man competent enough to possess nothing to praise, no, to not a good day. Yeah. So Prito is said, someone they do the praise if they don't have those qualities. So, but what devotee offer as praise? The personal. Can you hear me now? I'm so sorry. I think we will finish this chapter and then we'll close for the day. Because my
Yes,
net is
Mataji, you are
really
audible.
sick for this. I'm uh, uh, giving us an instruction to take that if we should not have the next we had. So what if we are faced with this situation? Do you want us should we
Mataji is not audible.
two minutes longer? Can you hear me? Anyone can hear me? Sorry for this. I do not have a problem with internet. Yes, no.
Yes, Mataji, but your voice is still cracking.
Fix the libraries and I them just after the phone. We will after the class if it's okay.